Hi everyone, it's Jeff from Transient Specialists. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to be spending some time on the Rohde Schwarz EPL1000 receiver. We'll start by going over a little bit about the EPL1000 series. Then we'll walk through the setup briefly, and finally we'll spend some time on the software. The EPL1000 is a fully compliant EMI receiver to CISPR 16-1-1 with a frequency range from 5 kHz to 30 MHz. It has a built-in transient limiter and 10 dB attenuator along with the corresponding frequency range, making it ideal for compliant emissions measurements. Let's go ahead and let's start by going over a little bit about the EPL1000. Now we're taking a look at the Rohde Schwarz EPL series brochure. As you can see, there are currently 3 different models available. The EPL1000, which covers 5 kHz to 30 MHz. The EPL1001, which covers 5 kHz to 1 GHz. And the EPL1007, which covers 5 kHz to 7.125 GHz. If we zoom out now and we scroll down to the next page, this page gives us a breakout of some of the different features and options based on the model. The EPL1000 comes standard with the base unit with many of the required features and options for conducted emissions measurements, including the CISPR 16-1-1 compliance. Some of the features of the EPL series lend themselves well to conducted emissions measurements, including the pulse limiter and 10 dB attenuator, as well as the lower frequency range options, which overlap with many test requirements. Let's go ahead now and let's take a look at the front of the EPL1000. Now we're taking a look at the front of the receiver, and one of the first things you'll notice is just how narrow the EPL1000 is, coming in at just over 9 inches. Other models with higher frequency ranges are slightly larger at around 12 inches, but still they're very compact. Taking a look at the front now, there are a few different sections. Let's go ahead and let's start in the upper left-hand corner. There we have a vertical sections of buttons, which are the system keys. These will focus on the test system generally, not specific tests or criteria. Just below that we have our USB connections, and finally all the way at the bottom in the lower left corner, the power button. Working our way right now, we have the touchscreen display, and on the right side of the front panel, in the upper right corner, we have a series of function keys. These provide quick access to the most common measurement settings and functions. Below that, we have our keypad, and on the right, the navigation controls. At the bottom, we have 250 ohm connections. The left is the output for the internal generator, and the right is the RF input connection. That should complete the front. Let's go ahead, let's get the unit turned around and take a look at the back. Now we're taking a look at the back of the EPL1000. Starting in the center of the unit, we have the ground terminal, and to the right of that, our AC mains input, fuse, as well as the power switch. Below that, to the left, we have our display port, and working our way right, the LAN as well as USB connections. If you ordered the option for the battery, you will see the connections towards the top of the unit as well. If we go ahead now and we take a look at the right side of the unit, we have a series of 3 connections at the top, 2 of those being the reference clock connections, and then our trigger input. Below that, along the bottom, we have our power sensor connection, headphones connector, aux port, as well as the final 2 connections for the video out and noise source control. For a more detailed overview, go ahead and check out the user manual, which can be found on the Rohde Schwarz website, which I'll put a link for below. Let's go ahead now and let's look at the setup briefly. Now we're taking a look at an example of a pre-compliance tabletop setup using the Rohde Schwarz ENV216 LISN. Starting with the receiver on the left, we have it connected to the ENV216 in back using the EZ21 cable for remote control. We also have a connection on the front from our RF input on our receiver to the RF output on the LISN. We have our LISN connected to the ground plane via the ground connections on the side of the unit as well as the back panel. As you can see, we also have an isolation transformer placed before the LISN for today's video. There's additional information on the setup with the ENV216 in the user manual, which I'll put a link for in the description below. Let's go ahead now, let's get the receiver powered up, and let's take a look at the display. Alright, now we're taking a look at the screen for the EPL1000. Before we dive into it, there are some system keys which are particularly useful. To begin with, the green preset button in the upper left corner will revert back to the default settings. If you'd like to completely clear the settings, this is a quick way to do that. There is also the mode button, which is the third down. If we go ahead and we press that, it will take us to the mode menu. Here we have options for both receiver and spectrum analyzer mode. If we go ahead and we hit new channel setup for receiver, you'll see now we have a new tab at the top as well. Let's go ahead and let's close our receiver 2 tab. Taking a look at the menu now, there's a few distinct sections. On the left, we have a column for the toolbar. To the right at the top, we have the channel bar. This will show the measurement settings. Below that, we have our bar graph. As we continue down, we have the window bar title and the diagram area. Towards the bottom, in green, we have the diagram footer, and all the way at the bottom, the instrument status bar. As you can see, the instrument has finished warming up and we have no statuses indicated. When we're quickly looking to access different measurement criteria, we can go ahead and use the function keys. Regardless of which function criteria the user is on, the overview icon in the lower right hand corner will be available. If we go ahead and we click that, it takes us to the overview menu where different criteria can be modified as well. Let's go ahead now and let's spend some time changing some different criteria with the EPL1000. Now we're back on the main screen. Let's go ahead and let's start with the bar graph. This is active when performing a scan not based on a scan table. Let's go ahead and let's select the bar graph. And now we're on the bar graph menu. On the left we have detector and on the right settings. Let's go ahead and let's add average and let's remove max peak. Once we've made the necessary adjustments, we can go ahead and press the X in the upper right corner. There's a couple different ways to adjust measurement criteria. Let's go ahead and let's use the function keys. Let's start with frequency in the upper left corner. Here we have options for start frequency, stop frequency, as well as manual step size. To adjust the start frequency, we can go ahead and click on it and then enter the corresponding frequency. Let's go ahead and let's keep it at 150 kilohertz for today's video. Below that, we have bandwidth. If we go ahead and we click that, we have options for manual bandwidth at the top, as well as 6 dB bandwidth, CISPR only, mil standard only, as well as others. We're going to go ahead and we're going to keep the default settings for today's video. Next, we have the measure function key. If we go ahead and we select that, we can adjust the measurement time if needed as well. We also have other options. We're using a Rohde Schwarz ENV216 LISN, which can be controlled by the receiver. To do this, select Listen Config, and then select the corresponding listen type. From this menu, we can also adjust some of the criteria. Let's go ahead and let's select the phase to N. And now our ENV216 is indicating N. If we take a look now at the second icon from the bottom, we have test automation. If we go ahead and we select that, that will take us to our test automation menu. Here we have tabs for overview, scan table, peak search, as well as others. Right now we're on the overview tab. If we go ahead and go to peak search, we can go ahead and select different limit lines. Let's go ahead and let's select the FCC Part 15 voltage on mains Class B, and let's go ahead and check the box for visible. Just below the name at the bottom, you can see a comment which just indicates this criteria is from paragraph 15. Now if we go ahead and hit that X mark at the top, we should see that limit line on our diagram. Let's go ahead and let's hit the run single, and now we should see the measurement with the corresponding limit line. That should complete the video today on the Rohde Schwarz EPL1000. We began the video by going over a little bit about the EPL1000 series. Then we walked through an example setup briefly, and finally we spent some time modifying testing criteria from the display. We hope this video has been useful, and please keep us in mind if you ever need to rent the Rohde Schwarz EPL1000.